Welcome to Perspectivas Latinas, a community service of CAN TV. I'm your host, Juan Carlos Hernandez. Today, our guests are from Sociedad Cívico Cultural Guatemala, an organization that serves the Guatemalan community in Chicago and the region. Welcome to all of you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're going to start off by talking to each of you individually and what you do with the organization, how long you've been part of it, please. Manuel Arenas, welcome and thank you for coming here.
Thank you very much. I belong to the association for 25 years. It was founded in 1993 by one group of Guatemalan people with Mr. Sergio Giron, organized the Guatemala Civic Society. And the purpose was to show to the young people in our community our custom and
the customs, certainly the customs.
Yeah, the custom,
culture,
well,
the traditions as well.
The tradition and custom, to especially to the young people and the whole another communities around the world.
Okay, to share that with also other people. We'll come back to that, but that's so you've been with the organization for a very long time, since 1993.
Yeah.
Wow. Yailleene, our youngest guest here, Yailleene Orantes, thank you so much for coming today. You're the Reina Infantil of 2014-2015. Tell us how and why you are the Reina. Who helped you to become that? Is it fun? Did you have fun when you participated? Did you make a lot of friends?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many other girls participated with you when?
3 girls.
3 girls. Yeah. And when they put the crown on your head, what did you feel?
I felt like happy and thankful.
Really? You have a beautiful dress today.
Thank you.
It's traditionally Guatemalan, right? Yeah, and they bring it from Guatemala for you?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay. We'll come back to that, but thank you so much. You look so pretty today.
Thank you.
And Mr. Juan Roldán, thank you for being our guest today.
Thank you.
Yeah, tell us about how you became part of this organization.
Yes, I became part of the organization back in, I think it was 87. I noticed that the organization was having some cultural events, and I decided that I wanted to be part of that because I wanted to promote the culture, the Guatemalan culture in Illinois. And I thought it would be a good idea eventually to be able to start helping the community with the events that are gonna be part of, like, for example, immigration events, and that's what my goal was back then. And I'm still trying to get to that point, but maybe we talk about that later.
Sure. So yeah, that's I think something interesting to our viewers. We certainly think about the Latino community in Chicago, and we think, well, Puerto Rican, we think Mexican, and we think other groups, but there's certainly it's a very diverse community. There are certainly Central Americans such as Salvadoreños, Hondureños, and
Costa Rica.
And from people from Costa Rica also, but Guatemaltecos are one of the larger groups, right?
You're right.
Exactly. Yes.
Here in Chicago.
Here in Chicago. Tell us about some of that history and how Guatemaltecos came here from their native country, and why Chicago. If you know some of that history, to share it, or your personal experience of coming here to Chicago. Mr. Manuel here.
Well, I'm here for around 44 years.
Wow, that long.
Yeah, I see the necessary somebody to take care of a lot of people who don't know what to do, how to get together to enjoy and get some things to remember or feel it, something from Guatemala.
Mhm.
Then, my point, I came, I say, in 1966, 67, and
Mhm.
I was a professional soccer player in Guatemala.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Wow.
I started. I played with so many leagues here in Chicago at that time,
Mm-hmm.
and then we joined together another people to we founded the Central America Soccer Association.
Back in the 1970s? Or?
73.
Wow.
Then
Mm-hmm.
we meet another. You see another point of the people
Mm-hmm.
like to be together too, but in
Mhm.
different fields,
Mhm.
like civic events.
Mm-hmm.
Then those people found the Guatemala Civic Society,
Mm-hmm.
and then I joined with that. But maybe 2-3 years later, and then, since then I been working, promoting social civic events
Wow.
to
Mhm.
maintain our tradition.
Yes. And so you came here like in 67, here to Chicago directly, or did you come to another part of the country?
No,
for-
direct.
Okay. Now, like I said earlier, and you confirmed it, the Guatemalan community is a pretty big one here in Chicago. Why Chicago? Why not somewhere like in Texas or California? Why establish roots here?
Well, I think that I had a lot to do with the jobs. There are a lot
Mhm.
of jobs in here that people that recently come from Guatemala
Mhm.
are able to handle. And start in there, and then eventually they start having roots and
Mm-hmm.
people, friends and family members that are coming in, and that's how the community grew.
Mm-hmm.
That's eventually it was related to the jobs available in here,
Okay. Yeah.
in my opinion,
Mhm.
and because there are a lot of Guatemalans in California too,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of them come to Chicago.
And you arrived here. You're originally from Guatemala.
Right.
Mhm.
I've been here over 30 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you arrived here, and I'm sure when Mr. Arena arrived here, there weren't many Guatemalans, but when you arrived, there were certainly more. And you came together around soccer to begin with, which is pretty interesting. But he also mentioned that it was also the aim of preserving traditions and sharing that with younger people. Tell me about some of those traditions and some of and how you celebrate them here in Chicago and maybe around the Midwest.
We celebrate the independence, Guatemala independence, which
When
is
is that?
September 15.
Mm-hmm.
And every year we the organization the Cívico Guatemalteca we had independence parade on Montrose and California.
Mm-hmm.
And after the parade, there is a picnic where everybody congregates, and we had a lot of Guatemalan activities. We had a lot of Guatemalan food in there. We also had cultural events as well. Younger generations that dance at the with the folklore dances from Guatemala.
And she's wearing an outfit like some of those young people would wear.
Right, exactly, and it's beautiful. If you had a chance to go over there, I invite you to come. Everybody's welcome.
Yeah, and our audience as well.
Definitely, for sure.
And this is every September when the Guatemalan community comes together and celebrates.
Well, sometimes we meet together at another day because they say we try to keep our tradition like Carnival and other dates.
Okay, the Carnaval. We tend to think of Carnaval as something very Brazilian, but it's not just in Brazil, right?
It's a different way, but
Right, it's a different way. So tell me about coming together for Carnaval.
well, sometimes like use customs, but the main thing is we use break, how you call eggs,
Eggshells,
eggshells
With confetti, right?
Yeah.
confetti inside of it, and then
we fill it with little pieces of
confetti.
color paper,
Mm-hmm.
and then we break in the head, and dance.
And it's fun and dance and
This is Fat Tuesday, right? The
yeah,
Carnaval.
exactly.
sometimes,
That's
yeah.
exactly the same day,
Right.
right?
And we have another festival in June. We make two festivals in June. Yeah, like I told you, across the time we're inventing new activities every year.
Okay.
The beginning we start with the first parade in the first year, the first parade in September, and the first election of the Miss Guatemala.
Oh, Ms. Manuel.
Maybe 10 years later we start with the Little Queens.
Okay. So you started first with young women in 17, 18 to the early 20s?
17 to 20, to 22.
22.
Yeah.
And then you added on the tradition of a pageant for girls.
Yeah.
Girls, right.
Then we look for another event so that we can get together our community.
Okay. So this is in June is when you have the election of
No, in September.
September.
Before the parade.
Before the
Okay.
parade.
And the new queen
Mhm.
got the grand marshal in the parade.
Oh, okay, okay. And well, you mentioned there's Independence in September, and obviously you have banquets for the.
Yeah, that all depends the situation because sometimes I say every year is a little different. You know?
Okay.
But we make it's 1 month of elections, so many festivities.
1 month.
1 month, but we rely different. Different.
I should be
events.
Guatemala. It's all partying for 1 month.
Yeah, well, we try.
Okay, and so that's probably the most important month, right? Of
Yeah,
of,
yeah,
of the Guatemalan
yeah.
calendar and celebrations.
Another thing we've said, so we've been in a Holy Week.
Holy Week,
Holy Week.
or in Spanish, Semana Santa.
Semana
Semana
Santa,
Santa.
exactly.
So
Good Friday.
tell me about that.
Oh, well, in Guatemala or in here, well, in Guatemala, everybody work until Wednesday, and then they usually there's a lot of tradition, Catholic tradition. There are people that go out to the churches, and they had a very cultural events in there that are so intense. It's difficult to describe the beauty of it. But if you ever had an opportunity to go to Guatemala for spring break, I recommend that you do that because you're gonna be impressed with the culture, and the people are so friendly.
That's certainly what I have heard. That it's very deep traditions in
Deep
Guatemala.
tradition,
and,
right.
I forgot to mention one special tradition like in Mexico with the Virgen de Guadalupe. We have a Señor Esquipulas. It's our
that's your patron
our patron
of Guatemala.
Yeah,
Right.
we celebrate on January 15.
January 15th.
Yeah, we have. I had an opportunity to mention Mr. Catalina Garcia. He was the founder of the first lady who put the mass. We have a mass every 15, January 15, and from 30 some years.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is, you have that mass here. You
Yeah,
celebrate that
yeah,
every
Japan,
January.
right.
Well, and in Guatemala, it's certainly not cold, but here it's a different type of celebration. There's the mass, and you have a dinner.
Just a mass, and we get together after the mass,
Right.
a couple of hours, and we together. And so
Go
And-
to a restaurant.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
We go to a restaurant.
Okay.
Usually, what's the name of the restaurant?
which one?
The one where the events happens.
Oh, Latin patio.
Latin Patio.
Okay. And it's on the north side of the city,
Yeah.
Right at Central and Belmont.
Central Alabama. Now, one thing that we spoke about before the program, and even during through our emails, is that Guatemalans are all over. You know, they're spread out. So, how do you gather as Guatemalans? You know, as a community, because that that can be tough, and you certainly want to get together to celebrate these important traditions to pass them down to younger generations.
We usually create a lot of flyers, and each one of the members had a stack of flyers that had to go to. They had to deliver to different Guatemalan
Business.
Guatemalan places, and also there's a magazine called Central America Enlace, where we publish the events, and a lot of Guatemalan people get that magazine,
Okay.
and everything is detailed there.
Are you also using social media like Facebook and Twitter? No?
Yeah,
Of course,
Facebook.
yeah.
And we had the website,
Oh, and the website too. The
civicoguatemalteca.com.
website, and that'll be up on the screen for our audience to see. Just so they can, if somebody's curious, you don't have to be Guatemalan to come out, right? But
And the good thing about the website is that you'll be able to see pictures of all the events that we've been having since the last couple of years, and you'll be able to see all the cultural events that we do there.
okay.
It's fun.
Now, one of the things that I hear and we've spoken about is passing down traditions to young people. Besides the pageant, how else do you bring young people into these traditions and to the events? Certainly, there's the dancing, during like September, August, September, I guess, where it could be very fun. But how else do you bring them in?
There are other organizations that we are a part of that cultivate those kind of traditions. For example, they do dances and marimba. We had
Which is that's the national instrument of Guatemala, right?
Exactly, and they learn from the beginning how to play the marimba, and they become so good at it that they always want to be a part of it, and that's all we try to. That's our major goal. Make sure that the new generations pick the traditions, because once it's so easy to forget the Guatemalan traditions once you're here in the United States.
Now, Yailleene, tell us how you feel being part of all of this. Is it fun? You like it? Tell me what you think when you're participating in these Guatemalan traditions and in the pageants.
I think it's fun.
Yeah. And what makes it fun?
Like, is when you sing and then everybody like starts screaming
So you sing?
and
Yeah.
and dance
And you dance too. What do you sing?
different songs and
And you danced. What do you dance? Tell me about that.
I dance bachata.
Oh, okay. So it's all fun. It's certainly Guatemalan celebrations, but we're bringing more modern music into it, right? Okay. But let's see, one thing that I do want to touch on, because I think it is important, is and it touches with young people, is the children coming north from Guatemala, from El Salvador and Honduras. Certainly that's an issue that's going to stay with us here in Chicago and in the United States, Mexico, and in Central America for some time. What do you think, how do you think as a community, Guatemalans in particular, but all of us should respond? What do you think, Senor Arena, please?
Okay, this matter started not long ago. Well, long ago, a lot of people is coming for
Right.
looking for a new something better for his family. The problem, a lot of people they come here is because they lack opportunity in Guatemala. No schools, school, but no money to
Right.
keep the schools, no source of jobs, a lot of violence.
Right, that's one of the big problems.
That's the big problem.
Violence, right.
Right.
Then lack of opportunities to live. They try to come here to some because they try to help his family coming here, because some families are 5 to 7 people, brother or something. They try to come with I don't know, now different age they try to come here, between
Right.
7 to 14, 15.
Right, they're
But it's very
young.
difficult to come over here nowadays. I mean,
It's expensive and dangerous.
It's dangerous,
Dangerous.
especially in Mexico. If,
Right.
You know.
With so many gangs and drug traffickers involved in the transport of people.
Right, and they had such a miserable time going through Mexico, because even though Mexico is a wonderful country, some people can have some difficulties with them traveling through.
Right.
Makes it even more dangerous.
Right,
And
because of organized crime.
organized crime, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is that there are a lot of Guatemalans here where that leave their children over there, children there, and now the children want to come over here because they're over there with their sisters, brothers, part of some of the family, and they're desperate to get in touch with their parents, and that's why they take off and try to come over here. But we as an organization should be able to try to accommodate some of those kids coming over here by trying to get the government to have them being able to stay around here in Illinois instead of going if their parents are here, instead of going to other states, because it will become more difficult for them to be able to get in touch with their parents.
Right. So we should respond with compassion.
With compassion, exactly. That's the right word. With compassion instead of trying to send them back right away.
Right. Right.
Because it's miserable over there if you don't have anything. It's there are a lot of people that die of, kids that die of hunger. And us as an organization, what we do is, once the festivities are over and we're able to gather some money, we deliver that money to the needy organizations in Guatemala. For example, we have several orphanages that we provide some money for their operations in there.
Okay, that's actually that's great. So you come together to celebrate being Guatemaltecos, to celebrate your traditions, your culture, and but you also don't forget about your place of origin.
Exactly.
And
because like I say, we have some profit after we pay our expenses. We have some money to send to some people in Guatemala, especially at this orphanage. We have a compromise to help every year to one orphanage.
What's the name of that orphanage?
It's he got it written down there.
The name is Centro Nutritional Home of Young People, San Francisco de Asís. It's in one town, maybe 300 miles from the city, in a little village.
And the kids,
there is 77 children.
Wow.
And the kids mostly are abandoned children that their parents left them, and some of them are really they were hurt by their parents or by the people over there, and they don't have anybody, and they're in real bad shape. So we try to whatever money that we had extra after all of those expenses, we send it to them every year.
Wow. That is wonderful to hear that you respond not just to the needs here, but to the needs there as well. And I think we have to develop that global vision of ourselves as a community. We're getting near the end of this show. Tell me what your vision is for this organization going toward the future.
Well, like I say, across the year, another organization has been founded here, but we respect, like I respect to us, we have all the different goals. Some for immigration, some for different things.
They all work in different areas.
Yeah, and we respect, and we work together with them.
Okay.
Because we can say, the oldest organization here. We have a lot of experience, we have a lot of connection, and we have a special direct connection with our government of Guatemala for the consulate from here in Chicago. And they work together with us and let us know what's going on. Some people coming here to help, to give some kind of opportunity to the people to know different types of things, immigration, economic things, investment, many things. But different organizations have different, like I said, different law. We try to, our goal is to still together, ask for the people stay together with us, and we can help in everything they needed, and still keeping our tradition and culture for the
And we also-
new generation, and all another people from all over the world.
Okay.
And we're
Yes,
also
Juan?
trying to become an organization that are going to be able to help the Guatemalan community with their immigration statuses.
Mhm.
For example, we can probably be able to fill out forms
Mm-hmm.
for
Yeah, like for DACA and stuff like that.
right
Mhm.
for their citizenship and
Mm-hmm.
do like events in which whoever needs a specific immigration type of advice, we'll be
Mhm.
able to give it to them. That's our goal for the future. In addition to, of course, cultivate the culture, the Guatemalan culture in Illinois.
Okay. And Yailleene, one last question for you. What do you like most about being Guatemalan?
Because you get to like play soccer in the rain, you know that. I know that.
Play soccer in the rain and celebrate music too, like you said
Mhm.
earlier. Wow, great. Well, thank you all for coming out
Thank
today
you.
and sharing so much great information with us. It was a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks to you to give us the opportunity
Thank
to
you.
Hmm.
let the people that we ask for the people to still helping us.
Great.
Thank you.
And to you, our audience, thank you for joining us. Perspectivas Latinas is a community service of CAN TV. If your nonprofit organization would like to work with CAN TV, call 312-738-1400 and ask for nonprofit services. Tune into Perspectivas Latinas for local issues and concerns every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. on CAN TV 21. I'm Juan Carlos Hernandez. Thank you for joining us.